Welcome back to the NOBI studio in Barcelona. So today we're gonna do the strengthening exercise for lower back pain. I did 3 areas. So number 1, the causes of the lower back pain. And then number 2, I made a stretching video to relieve the lower back pain. And then today's number 3, to strengthen the core muscle around this area to release and prevent the pain. So as you see, these areas not only we have the lumbar areas, we have muscle and fat to support the spine. So it could get very unstable. So we build the stability of the lower back. Okay, so I want you to go to the mirror and see how does it look like your lumbar. So your lumbar has a lordosis or excess curve, if it's like this, or like this, on a straight. So the ideal posture is pelvis in neutral. That means you don't have too much anterior tilt, or you don't have too much posterior tilt, just in between. So it's like you can sandwich them from front to back. So sandwich and support them, the lower back. So first spring in this, and then you can touch the rib cage. When you inhale, you can inhale into rib cage to increase the dimension, the length of here. As we have tendency to shorten this with aging, we want to create the space all around the lumbar area. So inhale to lift and open the rib cage. Exhale, start to zipping up from the bottom to up. So before we do, I have to explain the muscles. So core muscle have the major core muscles that have 4. So pelvic floor, transverse abdominal, multifidus. So multifidus is a small muscle right next to the spine from bottom to top, and diaphragm. So today we focus, we're going to use all of 4, but I'm going to explain more about transverse and pelvic floor. So pelvic floor is attached to the pubic bone, tailbone, and 2 sit bones. So 2 sit bone is the 2 bony parts. So if you bring these 4 points closer together, like a sit bone or holding the wee-wee, then you are contracting the pelvic floor. I'm going to make a video about the urinary dysfunction to work with the pelvic floor, but today I'm not going to talk about this too much, but we use also the pelvic floor with exhaling. Okay, and then transverse looks like it's very wide and then cover whole this area, and the function of the transverse abdominal is one of the main function is pulling the belly bottom in. Okay, so it's quite easy, no? You can do anytime. You can do during the day, anytime in any situation. And as this muscle is covered from here, wide and until here. So it does not look like back brace, yeah? So it's like a back corset look like. We have a natural corset. Why don't we strengthen to this so that to be independent? So let's turn this. If you have too much lower back cup, probably very hard to engage this muscle. You don't feel like I'm engaging, I'm pulling my belly in. So in that case, you can have hands right in front. Okay, so as if you are pushing something, it's like a push-up. Okay, so it's the push-up or the plank. Plank is good for the core. That means because you can easily engage. But if you are doing the push-up or plank without engaging the core, this muscle, then it could hurt the lower back. So it's very important to be aware of using this. So before you go down to the floor to do this plank or push-up, why don't you do against the floor, against the wall? So you can have hands right in front as if you are pushing forward, but without contracting the upper shoulder. Inhale to expand your rib cage. Exhale to contract the 2 sit bones, so pelvic floor, and then pulling the belly in, so like a zipping up until here, because the transverses you have until here. Inhale to open the ribcage. Exhale to draw your two sit bones and zipping up until here. So you are tightening your corset, okay? So one more time, inhale. Exhale to draw your sit bones and pull the tummy in. So keeping the hands, it makes you probably feel easier to contract transverse abdominal. But what happens if you have a round upper back like this? No, it doesn't help, because you need to see the whole spine. You have to have long spine, so you have to be able to open the chest, open the hip joint, but engaging this part. So once you feel like you have access to this inside, I want it to be more straight, lifting the chest up. So let's do this. So inhale to open the rib cage. Exhale to draw your pelvic floor and zipping up, and then in the same time I'm going to bring the chest lifting up, bring the hands backward. Okay, so this area, nothing changing. Looking from the side, inhale. Exhale to pelvic floor and zipping up, transverse corset, and then lift slightly the chest up and bringing the arms backwards. So I'm contracting the back, upper back, but without making the excess curve of my lumbar. Inhale, contract your pelvic floor and zipping up, belly in, belly towards the spine, rib cage, and bring the hands back. Cool. So another thing is we need to work with our hips without curving the lower back. We can see whole body, whole spine, which could have a relation to your lower back issue. So we use the same muscle group here, but then we focus and we tone the hip. Well, so you can hold the wall to stabilize yourself, and it's the same thing. Inhaling into the rib cage, exhale to zipping up, and then you can bring your one leg back. You can keep the bent knee or straight leg, it doesn't matter, but let's keep your hips pointing forward, so both hip bones are facing forward, and then press back. So you can feel the contraction of the glute, but without making the arch through the lumbar. So drawing the tummy towards the lower back and then push. And then you can do the same other side. So that was the exercise to prevent and relieve the lower back pain. So I want you to do this every day when you have a time. So this is the kind of minimum movement. You don't need the mat even. So you can do this while you are in the kitchen or while you're working. You can do this in sitting, and you can do it in standing. You can do this in the lying down on the floor. So please do this, because this is the exercise of the powerhouse, which could help you to stabilize the lower back. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hope to see you next time.